Hi guys, welcome to M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. Today we're going to be looking at monitoring and evaluation tools for NGOs. And this is a very important topic. People always ask this question, apparently on a monthly basis. So I'm going to be explaining to all of you what tools you can use in your NGOs. But in case you're here for the very first time, my name is Coach Alexander. I've been doing this for 10 years now. I'm an expert in M&E. So please subscribe to this channel so that you can get all the latest updates in relation to monitoring and evaluation. Also, there is this free ebook called the Logical Framework Analysis Guide. It's totally free. Go into the description below, download this book. It's totally free and have access to the step-by-step procedure of how you develop a log frame. Another interesting thing is that later on this year we're gonna be releasing the Monitoring and Evaluation Beginner's Guide, and this is a very important book. For those of you who are totally new to M&D, I would urge you to be on the lookout so that you can learn the tips and tricks in monitoring and evaluation. Also, the coaching program. Please get to enroll in this 6 months coaching program. I've already gotten students, but it's the doors are still open. Enroll in the 6 months coaching program so that you learn M&E step by step from me. Now guys, for those of you who remember, I did a couple of videos on the monitoring and evaluation software by KPI Lens. Now there's something interesting this year that they're doing. KPI Lens is currently running a promotion for M&D professionals to collaborate with their team on the platform to collect data that can be exported as Excel or CSV for only $9.9 per month. They are also offering free access to the beta version of their analytics for a limited number of users who would like to continue working on the platform after the data collection. I recommend you take advantage of this promotion to simplify your M&D process. Register for free through the link that is below. So you're going to find the link in the description below. So guys, let's get straight to business. Now the presentation outline is as follows. What are monitoring and evaluation tools, types of monitoring and evaluation tools, how to use the monitoring and evaluation tools. Okay, so in the description below there are timestamps, so in case you want to skip certain parts of this video, use the timestamps in the description below. Okay, so what are M&D tools? Tools, okay, let's just understand first of all, a tool. What is a tool? A tool is an instrument that you use to get certain jobs and tasks done. So for example, if you've noticed, there are a lot of projects happening probably in your country, building projects. Now what happens is that the builders need certain equipment to get their job done. So those are tools. Now in the life of an M&D professional, we also need tools to get our jobs done. Okay, so the tools that we use need to be reliable, need to be objective, adequate, and usable. Let me just explain this further because sometimes we miss the point on how quality tools can impact us positively. Reliable tools must be consistent and adequate. Okay, they must be also objective. The tools that we use must be unbiased and opinionated. They must not be opinionated. They also must be easy to use and handle. Imagine having to use tools which are so hard to manage, and really your job will not be done effectively. So a monitoring and evaluation tool must be like that. Now there are different types of tools in M&E. Okay, that's one thing I need to tell you. There are different types of tools. You've got the planning tools, which are tools used at the planning phase of a project or the M&E cycle. You've got data collection tools, which are used to collect the data that you're going to be analyzing and reporting on. Then you've got the auxiliary tools, and I'll say it right now that these auxiliary tools the softwares. I remember I talked about the KPI Lens software. That is an M&D software. So it's an auxiliary tool because it can be used as a planning tool. You can also use it as a data collection tool all at once. Now let's talk about the types of planning tools. All right. The types of planning tools, there are mainly three, but the list can go on. Okay. I don't want to talk about the other ones, but there are mainly three that are used in organizations around the world. NGOs, the same. Theory of change. The theory of change is an important tool for M&D professionals because it just depicts how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, your goal, your vision. How are you going to achieve it? But it's shown in form of diagrams and pictures. So this is well known. It's used in projects, in project documents, but even in strategic plans, you have this kind of arrangement. I like it personally, but I don't use it often. But I like it because it is summarized. It tells you how change is going to happen and what should be in place in order to get that change. The most common one, which I feel is the starting point for any M&D professional, is the logical framework, because in the log frame, that is where you find the indicators and targets that your project is going to achieve. You've got the results framework, and the results framework is also a planning tool which shows and depicts the results that a project wants to achieve. So these are the planning tools, and they are summarized in the pictures. I know you can't see them clearly, but now let me give you a clearer picture. This is an example of a USAID climate change project. This image is all over the internet, guys. So if you search results framework USAID, this thing will pop up. So this is an example of a results framework. So you've got the strategic objective one, which is accelerate the transition to low emission development through investment in clean energy and sustainable landscape. All right. So from here, you go down to the intermediate results. Okay, this IR is intermediate results. Okay, for you to achieve this strategic objective, there's an intermediate result, which is to establish a foundation for low carbon energy system. Then you've also got the sub-intermediate results, and it goes further to sub-intermediate results. There are so many intermediates that go below it, but you find that this strategic objective, there is not just one strategic objective. There could be 2 or 3 more, but all these strategic objectives feed into an overall goal. Okay, so this is how a results framework usually looks like. A theory of change is depicted as you can see in front of you. This one is a more complex form, but there are theory of change even on the internet. If you go on the internet right now, try to search for theory of change example, you're going to see one that is really simplified. Okay, so this theory of change actually explains how you're going to get the impact more inclusive and accountable societies. It explains that. So how do you get this impact? First of all, you need financial resources, you need human capital, you need to build relationships. And all this translates into intermediate outcomes. Okay, first you get to the output, then the intermediate outcomes. Communities for change, knowledge and skills, coalition building. Once all these are in place, you get responsible leaders, active, engaged citizens, and finally you get a more inclusive and accountable society. So a theory of change, as you can see, there are diagrams, but it has all these linkages in a simplified manner that shows you how you can get a more inclusive and accountable society. Now, this is the one we are all accustomed to, most of us today. It's the logical framework. As you can see, you've got the project summary, goal, outcome, outputs, activities. You've got the indicators, you've got the means of verification, and the risk assumption. So this one is common. And if you want to learn more about the logical framework approach, there is a course that is being run, that I'm running on Udemy. Click in the description below, but you have to pay a small fee. It's a good course if you want to learn more about the logical framework approach. Now let's go to the data collection tools. There are two main types of data collection tools. You've got the quantitative data collection tools, you've got the qualitative data collection tools. Now, the data collection tools are the tools that you use in order to get your data. So now, as you are well aware, oftentimes, and I'm pretty sure even before you watch this video, in your organizations, you hear people saying, oh, we need to conduct interviews. We need to conduct surveys. We need to observe things, focus group discussions. So all those things you hear people talk about in your organizations are data collection tools which are used in M&D. Now, let me talk a bit about the focus group discussions. I haven't prepared separate slides for this type of data collection tools. So just use your ears to hear and listen carefully what I'm going to explain to you. Focus group discussions is a situation where you go in the field and you interview a group of respondents, okay? But what you do is that you don't do one-on-one interviews. You talk to them as a group. And usually this is a group of 9 to 12 people or even 15. So you have a guide, an interviews guide, where you ask a series of questions and you get their responses. And based on their responses, okay, their perceptions, this is why it's called a qualitative data collection method. Based on their perceptions, you're going to record what you've seen and heard. Okay, so that's a focus group discussion. Now, an interview is now where you go one-on-one using a questionnaire. You talk to individuals, okay? You ask them a series of questions concerning certain things that are happening in an area or concerning the project. So they're going to fill in that questionnaire, you get it back and input it somewhere else. Then a survey is now, it's similar to the interviews, but in this sense now you are now going out in the field to collect data on a specific topic, and then you get that data, analyze it. Another thing is the observation. This is where now you don't talk to anyone, you just look at what is happening and record it in your notebook. Okay, so these are data collection tools which you as an M&D professional must be familiar with. In the 6 months coaching program, we teach about these things, and I would like you to enroll in the coaching program so that you get to learn these things more. Now back to the KPI Lens M&D software. I mentioned earlier on that these guys are doing wonders, okay? And I would want you guys to get in touch with them. They seem to be really nailing it, in my view, because as you can see, they are trying to help a lot of you professionals get familiar with the M&E software. Now let me tell you something about this, that they are running a promotion for M&D professionals to collaborate with their team on the same platform to collect data that can be exported in Excel or CSV. And this is only for $9, okay, $9.9, which is basically $10 per month. So now they are offering free access to the beta version of their analytics for a limited number of users who would like to continue working on the platform after the data collection. So I would strongly like to recommend that you take advantage of this promotion to simplify your M&D process. Okay, so thank you so much. Please, guys, write to me. Feel free. Sometimes I don't see all the emails you write, but forgive me because, being public, sometimes I miss these things, but I'll aim to respond to all the emails. Thank you so much, and see you on the other side. Bye.